Hey, so I fell off the wagon completely and then I got ill, but we carry on. So there is something I want to talk about in this video. I want to make a point about validating all the different frequencies that are available to you. So the idea is, and before I get into this video, there is no one way of doing it. This is how I do it. I make these videos just sharing what is working for me. Everything I say in this video could be wrong for you, could be totally not right for you, and I validate that as well. I validate all the different opinions because other people who will see all of my videos as being new age nonsense, they're just doing what they believe works best for them as much as I want to do what I believe works best for me. So validating everything. There's loads of different experiences to be had here. Okay, let's look at a few. Fun, excitement, determination, will, persistence, trust, and there are other kind of, shall we say, darker experiences. Lust, well, it's not necessarily dark, but can drain you, can make you focus on, you can be led by your physical organs uh, rather than using your head. I've been there. So yeah, hate, jealousy, envy. Now, all those other ones, they're also valid as well. When you resist something, it persists. So when you invalidate an aspect of you, you're actually strengthening it. And this is something I've come across in the material that I'm attracting into my life. The subject of duality and polarity, yin and yang, light and dark. It's a realization that, okay, existence is made up of light and dark. When I'm in the light, I've always got the doorway that will lead me to the dark, and it's there as a free will choice. As an entity, I can choose the dark. When I'm in the dark, there's always the doorway that will take me to the light. But when you're in the dark, the negative beliefs make you believe that there is no light. And that's when you're in that place of pessimism and cynicism. And I validate that also now. I used to get very frustrated at people who had beliefs that are different to me and are in that pessimistic, sinister, portraying an attitude of cynicism towards all of this information. So now I could have got on here and said, I'm doing this challenge and I need to use force and will and I need to do better and I need to slap myself into shape. I need to pull my socks up and knuckle down, do some hard work. And now I'm more inclined to be, you know what? I'm already impregnated with my dream. I just need to prepare the environment and prepare the soil for it to grow and flourish. I can just go with it and allow myself to unfold into more of who I truly am. But I won't invalidate the other approach that I've used in the past because that other approach towards self-development worked for me. The self can't really be developed. You're already whole. It's a process of rediscovering that you're already whole. But in my early 20s, when I was in that frequency of not being cool, not being able to floss and flex, I whipped myself into shape. Bruce Lee was like my hero. I modelled myself on him. I did the martial arts, hit the gym, started lifting weights, was listening to aggressive hip hop. But I don't invalidate it because that's what worked for me at that time. At that time, that will and determination was the, using force, brute strength, is what helped me because it was higher up from a feeling of hopelessness, a feeling of total self-loathing. It was a step up. And these frequencies are all different experiences that you can have on this level of reality, in this dimension. Your brain is hardwired to facilitate those experiences. How do you do it? I think it starts on your level of how you're thinking about it, your attitude towards it, having the wisdom to know the things that you can't change, that are out of your control, because you can't control how people are going to perceive you. You can't control other people's behaviour towards you and other things that happen in the world, but you can control the attitude you're going to have towards it. And I think it begins there. And again, it's what works for me. So it's accepting, validating everything about, validating everything about experience, about reality. I trust that whatever is responsible for this creation of the universe, this infinite universe, I trust that it knows what it's doing, that it knew what it was doing when it decided to set out to do that. Because look, if all that is God, all that is source, if it didn't create darkness, then who did? It stands to reason, to me anyway, at least, that it's created for a reason. And if I invalidate it, if I try to make it wrong, it's leading down that path where you feel that someone ought to be punished. And when I say someone ought to be punished, I mean in a vengeful way, where you want to inflict harm on them. And I don't really think that that's the path that's going to lead us to what we really want. And now this doesn't condone, look, there are people out there right now that are abusing children. And if you're doing that, expect to have your rights taken away from you. You may be placed in a confined environment and be rehabilitated, if it's even possible to rehabilitate you. So I'm not saying, let's just have everyone roam the streets inflicting harm without any consequences. There will be consequences, but I've been in that place where you get, and we need to fight this. And so validating everything, it doesn't mean that you condone it. You may take steps, you may take action to bring about the reality that you truly want, a reality where people don't go around doing that. Doesn't mean that you don't take action. And actually your actions will have more energy because you won't have that feeling of frustration that the universe is out to get you somehow. That's pretty much the point I wanted to make. These frequencies can act as keys to bring about the process of unfolding into who you truly are. And that's what it is right now for me. I know now that I don't have to use force. I don't have to whip myself into shape. I just need to continue to do the things that are gonna speed up the process of me expanding and evolving, and to quit doing the things that slow it down. It's as simple as that. Simplicity works for me right now. So I'm getting back on the program, and it's not an 11-week program really. I'm not going to reach the end of the 11 weeks and think, hey, I've made it, I'm here. I'll just relax now, because that would be complacency. It's going to continue after the 11 weeks. I promised that I would share your video if you made a video about your challenge, and there are 2 people that have done that. I'm going to share your videos out in the next video. So I hope your challenge is going well. I encourage you to make a video because I really enjoy this. It's that feeling of shared humanity. We have something in common. We're both here on earth, right now in this time. And it's like, hey, you know, life is a bit crazy. Can we make sense of it? Can we come to terms with ourselves? Can we come to terms with what we're working with right now individually? We're all working with different things, and there's no shame in dealing with what you're dealing with. If what you're working with is addiction, whether it be a chemical addiction of some sort, sex addiction, or fear, phobia, don't carry shame with you. There's no shame in to be dealing with what you're dealing with right now, to be working with it, to discover what you need to discover through that exploration. For me, it's very much a journey of self-mastery. Self-mastery, mastering myself so that I'm living from a place of self-awareness. You know, the body has its own agenda in a way. It has an agenda of survival and procreation. It can lead to acts. It can lead you into taking action that is unconscious and you're not really aware of it until after, and you think, oh gosh, how could I have been so stupid? So for me, it's getting to a place of mastery. So I'm consciously choosing what to do rather than just going along with my habits. And when I catch myself going along with my habits, it's again coming back to validation. I validate it and I say, wow, you know, I thought I'd worked through that, but obviously I hadn't. And I work through it. I validate my shadow side because it is an aspect of me. So you may have to strike a bargain with the ego. I don't believe in demonizing the ego. I think that the ego's just got carried away and believes that it's running the show. But I believe that it does what it does because it believes it's doing it for your own good. So acknowledge the ego for that. So you might say, hey, you know, I know you're doing it for my own good. I know you're trying to protect me and keep me safe. But you know what? Ease up on me 10%. Let me show you that this new course of action can work. And yes, I know we've never done this before. I know that we can't predict what's going to happen, but just ease up on me that little bit. Let me show you that this can work. Come along with me for the journey. It's a part of you. So acknowledge it, because if you don't acknowledge it, you try to suppress it, push it down, pretend it's not there, it will push back at you. And it will kind of try to trip you up and get you back in a way because it thinks that you don't care about it. So this path is very much about inclusion and not exclusion. And like I said, you know, it's do what is working for you. There is no ultimate path, no ultimate teaching, because like I just said, there was a time in my life where pulling myself up from the bootstraps with a kind of a military approach to my life, it worked for me then. It was great for me then, but now it's more a kind of working with it. Hey, I'm already whole. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy the process of unfolding into more of who we truly are. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you got something from this video. I'll catch you later. Peace.